What could be the last substantial update of Season 1 dropped today, in which we got a new event, a conclusion to our weekly challenges, as well as an update that changed a handful of weapons as a result of the update last evening. Today we're running down all you need to know, so drop your thoughts, drop a like, and subscribe for more Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and other FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community. And a final note, we're getting back into streaming, so if you guys want to check out the streams over on Twitch, link in the description below, I'd love to see you out there and hang out and chat. But anyways, let's get into it. So firstly, let's talk about the new content additions within Modern Warfare 3 today. First, the biggest thing probably in terms of the weekly update was that of a new event. New with today's update is the Boys VOT Week XP event here at this. So it's definitely nice. You don't have to do any specific challenges related to the souped up LTM. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, so I'm all for that not being a thing and we just do XP. You can do that in multiplayer or zombies or Warzone, but for this you end up getting the ability to earn a weapon sticker, a couple of double XP tokens, a large decal, a weapon charm, an emblem, calling card, and also then finally that mastery reward of the Making Heroes Super weapon camo. This coming along as a sort of black camo but with a bluish sticker covered in the VOT logo all throughout. It looks pretty decent when you actually see it in game. Not the best, not the worst, but a camo coming along with it as well. That is of course usable on every single weapon. It's a universal weapon camo, so happy to see that. Next week with the third and final The Boys event coming, we should see that weapon blueprint for the TAC Eradicator that was mentioned all the way back at the preview blog for Season 1 Reloaded. That should be coming here at this, but in the meantime, we do have another weekly challenge. The task is getting 500,000 XP throughout multiplayer, Warzone, or zombies. Might take a little bit of time here, but isn't nearly as crazy as that of what we saw with the Magma camo, so grind that out if you're at all interested. Next, we end up seeing the conclusion here of our weekly challenges on Season 1. You still have 2 weeks obviously left to complete everything of all of the 8 weeks, but for those that have been keeping track along the entire way and been up to date on their challenges, Week 8 introduced more challenges across multiplayer, zombies, and Battle Royale, to which you can end up, if you complete all 5, getting the Urgent Business MTZ-762 blueprint, which actually doesn't look all that bad. I kind of like it. It almost reminds me of some of the blueprints we've seen in the past for the COD Endowment. But anyways, it comes along with the Reflex Sight, Bruin Heavy Support Grip, and the 30-round magazine. So all in all, you're not going to lose too much in terms of the design if you decide to build on top of that. But while that was the introduction for this week's challenge set, it is again something that allows you now to have the ability to unlock the Coherence Weekly Challenge air quote mastery reward if you've ended up doing all 8 weeks or completing 5 of those challenges for each of those weeks. So the camo itself, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think that for 8 weeks of weekly challenges to complete, you could do way better in regards to what it looks like. It could be animated, I think. It could be a bit more vibrant. A lot of the camo looks war-torn on a lot of the weapons here because it doesn't have a clean base canvas profile. So it's a camo, of course. It's definitely nice to be able to have something to use on every single weapon. But if I'm comparing this to the Golden River camo that we saw with the preseason, Golden River wins by a mile. But if you are a collector, if you are somebody that likes to earn those types of things, well, you have 2 extra weeks if you have not done so already. So you have this upcoming week and the next. We're not going to see any week 9 challenges introduced here, but instead you have 2 weeks now to complete any number of those 8 weeks that you need to complete to end up earning that. But that's the sort of content side of things that came along with today's update. Oh, and actually, before we jump into the update that came along last night for Modern Warfare 3, make sure you guys are checking your store in-game because there is a new free gift pack that came along with actually a brand new universal camo entitled The Hundreds. It's a sort of woodland camo akin to some more classic camos we've seen in Call of Duty, but you might notice that there is a bomb logo in there on that pattern. That's because it is the logo of the 100 streetwear brand. This camo is a collaboration, which I'm very surprised by actually, that it's something that's in a free gift pack, but it seems like it's the continuation of a collaboration from COD Next. They were the ones that actually gave the clothing in the gift bags at COD Next, and now they're seemingly giving something to everybody in the playing community as well. So make sure you check that out, grab a free camo while it's still available. But last night we ended up seeing an update to Modern Warfare 3 that changed a lot more actually. The biggest part was some weapon balancing here with this, but before we jump into that, there were a few additional changes made here for this update. Some attachments had their descriptions better reflecting their true effects and some smaller things, but apparently there was also a fix to some of the camo challenges for the TAC Evolvery. The Broken Signal camo was mentioned in particular, that being a multiplayer camo that was not tracking properly of getting 10 double kills with a TAC Evolvery. that may have been fixed out, but at least on the zombie side, the sort of sister challenge here for that same tier, that level 19 weapon challenge, you're tasked with getting 10 kills without reloading 10 times with Attack of Valkyrie. That still has not been fixed as of that update. So if you are somebody going for zombies camos like myself, this doesn't really help you out just yet. So hopefully we get that and a couple of other camo challenges progression fixed out so that they track properly. We saw some adjustments to the souped up limited time mode where kills, confirms, and denies will be seen in the in-match scoreboard, plus temp V abilities can also be earned more than once per life. But as for the weapon and attachment tuning, we saw a lot of the focus actually was on some of the aftermarket parts, things that can either make a gun pretty solid or in some cases make them a little bit worse. The Holger 556 Jack Signal Burst had a full-on buff to it where it increased the gun kick control benefit by 10% and increased the recoil control benefit by 10%, as well as decreasing that burst fire delay down to 90 milliseconds, a 25% decrease on that, and a nice little buff overall. Doing this week's weekly challenge involving the Jack Signal Burst, definitely noticed those adjustments. The Sidewinder's Jack Thunder LMG kit decreased the bullets required to reach maximum rate of fire from 25 to 15, so you'll get there a bit quicker, which is definitely nice. And honestly kind of makes the Sidewinder with that not too terrible. I don't know if I'd say it's something that is competitively viable just yet, haven't had hands-on experience with it, but in theory 10 extra shots that it doesn't have to ramp up to that max fire rate, that's pretty solid. The AMR-9 saw a weird amount of buffs and nerfs to it for both the base weapon as well as the Jack Etten double barrel aftermarket part. The base AMR-9 saw nerfs to the decrease in the max damage range, near to medium damage range, and the medium damage range, along with the lower torso damage multiplier, lower arm damage multiplier, and the hand damage multiplier. But it also saw buffs and increases to the headshot damage multiplier, upper leg and lower damage multipliers, the foot damage multiplier, and saw an increase in that rate of fire from 789 RPM to 833 RPM, which doesn't seem like a whole ton on paper, but you will be able to feel that. So when you end up taking a look at where this sort of was adjusted and buffed, it makes it a little bit more close quarters of a weapon, but also it makes it a bit more lethal with headshots. As we've talked about, that was where you kind of really wanted to land at least one of those. Definitely helpful now if you do that. But then also it brings some of the damage profile in line across the body. Upper leg and lower leg damage is now being increased, gives it a bit better of a competitive advantage if you are missing a few shots that otherwise you'd want to be upper body. So it's definitely nice that it helps out there. And then the Jack Etten double barrel kit overhauled the firing mechanism so it simultaneously fires 2 shots now, so you'll be shooting 2 bullets at once instead of just 1. It added locational damage multipliers and also decreased the aim down sight spread and hip fire spread penalties associated with that, so making it more competitively viable. The Rival 9 saw adjustments to the Jack Headhunter carbine conversion, where you had decreases, so nerfs to the maximum damage, medium damage, and minimum damage, but increases to the headshot damage multiplier, neck damage multiplier, upper torso damage multiplier, and decreases to the burst fire delay, the sprint to fire penalty, aim down sight penalty, and hip fire spread penalty. So nerfs on like a base level when it comes to the damages, but you can make that up if you are accurate with those extra increases to the multipliers. And the final thing that was changed here was the DM56 marksman rifle with that Jack Signal Burst, where it increased the gun kick control, increased the recoil control, and the burst fire delay was decreased. So again, a nice little buff here to that, but that is the update that we ended up getting for Modern Warfare 3 across last night's balancing pass, plus also what was introduced as of this week in regards to content. So that is where we're going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. Before we finish things up, though, again, make sure to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for what I firmly believe are the best blue light glasses on the market. I've worked with these guys for nearly 3 years now and cannot recommend them enough. The most lightweight, comfortable, and durable frames out there, so definitely think they've helped my daily productivity. They are a bit of an investment, but I think that your vision is worth investing into, especially if you're like me and you look at a phone, monitor, or gaming for a good chunk of the day. So if you guys would like to learn more, at the very least, I'd recommend just checking out their website to where they can better break down the science and the specifics way better than I ever could, but what I can say personally is that I'd recommend them. So if you guys want to learn more, check the link below. But if you want to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso to get 10% off your entire order. Beyond that, though, again, drop your thoughts down below. Like this update, dislike it, whatever the case. Feel free to let me know. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and make sure you subscribe to stay updated with all things Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and other FPS content here on the channel. I'd love to have you. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.